Good morning and welcome back to Mojospresso, a caffeine-inspired shot of inspiration and perspective to help you on your Friday with the goal to win the morning and win the day. Okay, so we've had quite a few questions about our upcoming masterclass in less than a couple of weeks. And yes, it is different from last year's. Given the amount of anxiety in the world at the moment, it's a much deeper dive into specific exercises required to own your story and create this bulletproof resilience, especially in this time. So we'll have a lot of new insights, exercises, and stories, still within the same three frameworks with the same three questions, because answering who am I is where you'll find that confidence. Answering what do I want is where you'll find happiness, and answering how do I get there is where you'll find your mojo, where confidence and happiness collide, and you create that operating system for yourself. Plus, it's important to sharpen the saw, because in different conditions, we get distracted for different reasons. And we have never seen the world so distracted as it is right now. Okay, so to today's theme, and we've had a lot of people say to us recently that they feel that they have more time, obviously because of the pandemic, but not a lot of energy, and also not a lot of motivation. And this is at the heart of today's episode, because we're hoping coming out the other side of this pandemic that there is a perspective shift in a few things. And one of the perspective shifts that we're hoping for is our relationship between energy and time. Because here's the thing, time is not the most valuable resource in the world. Energy is, and motivation isn't a time problem, it's an energy problem. But for the last 5 decades, the world has been obsessed with time and time management, driven largely by these management consultancies focused on efficiency and how we can compartmentalize 168 hours in a week that we all have. And this obsession with time has led to an obsession with filling our time, or the quantity of time versus the quality of time. So we believe we have to be doing something or achieving something with this ridiculous death by calendar attitude where the tail wags the dog and my kid has to be in organized sport all the time. And believing we have to fill our time creates this scarcity mentality of not enough time. And we end up in our heads worrying about both the past and the future, neither of which we can control. So we're either in the past with this shoulda, coulda, woulda frustration, or we're in the future with this shit, I haven't done this frustration. And this constant worry about the past and the future is causing an anxiety because neither of them help you get into the present, which is actually what you'll get when you're focused on energy management, not time management. And this is obsession with time as a metric has got so bad that now we answer, how are you, with busy, right? Even in a pandemic, we're still answering it, how are you, with busy. Busy is not an emotion. Busy is an addiction, right? This addiction to being busy. We're wearing busyness as a badge of honor, right? And this is nuts. We're lining up for a coffee. We can't be looking up. We've got to be busy on our phones. We've become so preoccupied with time that we're answering a basic how are you question based on time and our failed relationship with time. Hence, I'm busy, And this is the great disease of our times. And it's based on identifying with the human doing, not the human being, and feeling we have to do something in order to be someone, with this subconscious belief that if you're not busy, somehow you're a loser, Not to mention answering how are you with busy pretty much kills human connection because the conversation ends there and it's boring and there's no depth to it. Now, we're not saying don't manage your time because you still have to schedule all your meetings and appointments. We're suggesting a new perspective, one in which we focus on energy management before time management. We have to give ourselves more energy, not more time. And the great irony is that if you do that, and there's been a lot of beautiful studies done on this, you'll actually achieve more. But more importantly, you'll create this beautiful balance between achievement and fulfillment, or a balance between meaningful work and meaningful relationships. So how do we do this? Well, it starts with proactively structuring your day around things that give you energy. And for humans, our energy source comes from 4 main sources: the physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual sources. So think of them as 4 rooms in a house, and every day you need to go into these 4 rooms, even if it's just to open the window and let some air in. Yeah. But in each room, energy can be created and stored by establishing these really simple, healthy habits that are practiced and scheduled with the goal to make them instinctive and automatic. Yeah. So here are some energy-based things we don't typically think about when planning our week. Things we typically don't put in our calendar or focus on, and we think you should. And by the way, they're really freaking simple. Yeah. In terms of physical energy, we just got to learn to breathe again. As babies, we breathe through our diaphragm where there's 75% more oxygen. But as adults, we tighten up and we breathe through our lungs where there's only 25% oxygen. We need to be babies again, at least in the breathing sense. Yeah. But it's also one of the best ways to diffuse fear, this cortisol, fear hormone in our bodies, these negative emotions, through deep belly breathing. It's the quickest mind hack from stress, and it actually gives you energy. And if anyone does meditation or mindfulness, you'll realize the power of learning to breathe. But we also need to learn to sleep again. You know, the number one cause of stress worldwide at the moment is sleep deprivation. So whether it's herbal tea instead of alcohol or caffeine, or reading a fiction book instead of emails, or just going to bed earlier and meditating, we got to learn to sleep again and actually schedule activities to help us do that. And then when you wake, get some sunlight as quick as you can, because vitamin D also gives you energy. Yeah, but you probably never thought to schedule vitamin D in your life. Another physical energy giver is water. If you can believe this, did you know 3/4 of the Western world is dehydrated now, unnecessarily? While in third world countries, there's a shortage of water. This is nuts. Yeah, WTF. And what's worse, dehydration causes fatigue, and it's the number one cause of midday fatigue. So schedule in drinking water and drink it before you feel thirsty. Schedule it after every meeting or after every class. Yeah. And then in terms of your working day, approach it if it's more like a lion hunting rather than a marathon runner. So you sprint and then you rest. You reassess and then you try again. You end up building a marathon of sprints, yeah, with regular breaks. So think of it like interval training where you take breaks away from the desk. 60 minutes on, 15 minutes off, yeah, or whatever works for you, because you know your body and your mind better than anyone else. Okay, so that's the physical. In terms of social and emotional energy, one of my favorite energy sources is appreciation. Appreciation comes from the gratitude family, and his two best mates are thankfulness and just feeling lucky. Yeah. So it's so simple, but to fuel positive emotions, show your appreciation to someone else. It might be your mum or a work colleague, right? As soon as you can first thing in the morning, and watch your energy grow exponentially, and schedule appreciation in your day. I know that sounds crazy. Yeah. In terms of spiritual energy, it's important to note that our thoughts are an energy source, and what you invest your energy in actually grows. So if you have negative thoughts, that negative energy actually grows and depletes your energy. So what gives our clients the greatest positive energy is reclaiming the words and mantras that reminds us who we are at our absolute best. Yeah. That way we can just be ourselves, be authentic, and we remove the mask, because it takes a lot of energy to put that mask and that armor on and to be authentic. Yeah. So reclaim your values or reclaim your purpose. Both exercises are in our Mindset app. Or your intrinsic motivations and all the things you can control, rather than these extrinsic motivations that you can't control. And focusing on intrinsic motivations also gives you energy. The goal is to be in your sweet spot for as much of the day as possible. So if you get a sheet of paper and draw 2 concentric circles, on the left-hand side, write down all the things you're good at. On the right-hand side, write down all the things you're passionate about. Yeah, and in the middle is your sweet spot. And then try and spend as much of the day as you possibly can in your sweet spot. Yeah, the best, most authentic version of you. Okay, in terms of mental energy, there's 3 lists that you have to write each day that help steer our mental energy and our focus. Everyone writes a to-do list, but those who manage their energy the best also write a to-be list. And you've heard me talk a lot about that, whether it's to be grateful or playful or present or kind or caring. But the 3rd list is a don't-do list. Yeah, so they don't watch TV unless they know exactly what they're going to watch. And they definitely don't read negative media headlines first thing in the morning. If you think of your mental energy like a phone battery, yeah, it's fully charged at the start of the day, but then it depletes. So start your day with the most important things, the right task at the right time. The most successful people we know do the thing they don't want to do the most first in the day, before they open their computer. And this is guaranteed to give them energy. And get this, making decisions gives you energy. So when it makes sense to, stop overthinking and make a decision, and then another one, and then another one. If you're in your head, you're dead. And decisions grow and becomes a muscle inside of us. Also find a happy place for yourself. Some call this a renewal room, or a place where the sun comes in just the right angle, where you can relax and refuel. And here's a hint, it's definitely not in your office. And if all else fails, here's the one last tip to get some motivation when your energy levels are feeling completely depleted. And this secret is have fun. Last week, going for the Golden Slam last weekend, Dylan Alcott was absolutely exhausted, especially after the year that he had. He said to me, he'd got absolutely nothing left in the tank. So counterintuitively, he decided to do one thing. He decided to have fun and went out with no expectations and did what athletes do. They compete, have fun, and play. And he reclaimed that childlike, carefree, no consequence attitude, which actually gave him energy, and the rest is history. Here's the thing, energy is about quality. Time is about quantity. When you start to shift your life away from one which is managed by the clock, which is called chronos or clock time, to one which is managed through kairos, which is called quality time. Your happiness and energy and quality of life increases exponentially. And so do your results, and so does productivity. If we focus on time management, we focus on the human doing first, and we'll likely answer the question, how are you, from a doing lens. Hence, we say busy. But if we focus on energy management first, we focus on the human being first. And you can start answering that question, how are you, a little differently. Maybe from how your four worlds are going, whether that be great or not so great. But in doing so, you're getting to the depth of human connection. You could say, well, my social world sucks at the moment, but my spiritual world is rocking because there's been a lot more time for self-reflection and introspection. Or you could say, my physical world has taken a bit of a hit with gyms closing, but my social world's boosted because I'm doing park sessions with a friend. When it comes to the start of the week or the end of the week, think about managing your energy, not your time. And you might just find you're putting the human being first and the human doing second. And if you want a beautiful book to read, definitely recommend Eckhart Tolle's The Power of Now, where he talks about ego, fear, and time being three of the greatest tragedies that are sabotaging our ability to connect back with the human being first and the human doing second. So that's it for another episode of Mojospresso. I look forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks on our masterclass. And until next time, I will love you and leave you and see you on the other side in the soup. Bye for now.